Hello, Pastor Daniel here, coming to you from the library at Aldersgate United Methodist Church in Wheaton, with an invitation to join us for worship this coming Sunday, July 11th. This will be our second service back in person. We met last week on Independence Day. We had beautiful music, prayers, scripture, and sermon, of course, and we shared in Holy Communion. So come on out, join us for this worship service. This week, we continue our readings in the Gospel according to Mark. We're in chapter 6, verses 30 to 44. We'll remember that last week, Jesus sent the disciples, or the apostles, those to be sent, out into the communities. And he sent them out together, 2 by 2. And we reflected on what that means for us as a congregation called to be in ministry with and for one another. Well, this week, Jesus calls the disciples back home, and they're exhausted. They've been teaching, they've been preaching, they've been healing, and they're tired. Jesus knows this. And like he does throughout the Gospels, he asks them to pause, to rest, to come away with him to a deserted place where they can reset themselves and remember why they're being sent in the first place. But this rest, we'll notice, has its limits. Like a good parent who comes home from a long day of work, kicks their feet up, only to have a little child come forward and say, "But mommy, but daddy, I'm hungry." All right. Jesus hears the crowd, the sheep without a shepherd, who come after them in this deserted place, and he has compassion for them. Means he suffers with them. So we have a beautiful image of God this week as the one who calls us to rest, but who also calls us to always have compassion for our brothers and sisters, our neighbors. And we'll look at how that compassion, what Jesus does next, asking the disciples to provide the food for this crowd. That is our invitation into hospitality, where no matter how little we think we have, with God's blessing, we have enough. We have enough to share. We have enough to bless our neighbor. So come on out to Aldersgate this Sunday, July 11th at 9:30 in the morning in Fellowship Hall. We look forward to singing with you, to praying, to sharing in communion, and of course to hearing and reflecting on the Gospel according to Mark. See you Sunday.